Tyrannosaurus rex. The very name echoes through time, a symbol of power, of terror, and ancient dominance. For over a century, it has captured our imagination, from dusty museum halls to the bright lights of Hollywood, to children's books and billion-dollar blockbusters. But behind the roaring jaws and thunderous footsteps lies something far more fascinating than fiction. This was a real animal, a living, breathing apex predator that once ruled one of the most dangerous ecosystems Earth has ever known. And yet, even today, we're still uncovering its secrets. What did it sound like? How did it hunt? Was it a cold-blooded monster or a misunderstood giant? Over the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into the prehistoric world of the T-Rex. Not just to marvel at its size, but to understand its world, its behavior, and what made this creature the most iconic dinosaur of all time. This is the untold story of the Tyrant King. "66 million years ago, Earth looked very different. There were no humans, no cities, no familiar sounds, just the raw rhythm of nature, untamed and unforgiving. Back then, the land we now call North America was a vast, humid floodplain, covered in towering conifer trees and thick with ferns, vines, and prehistoric flowers. Volcanoes rumbled in the distance, rivers carved deep paths through ancient forests, and the skies were filled with the shadows of flying reptiles gliding above. This world was hot, moist, buzzing with insects and the sounds of giant creatures moving through the underbrush. It was a paradise and a battlefield. Every step could be your last. And in the very heart of this wild ecosystem stood the apex predator, the master of this prehistoric chaos, Tyrannosaurus rex. Here, he wasn't a movie monster. He was a product of evolution, perfectly adapted to hunt, kill, and rule. Let's take a closer look at the body of the Tyrannosaurus rex. At first glance, he may seem clumsy, a massive head, tiny arms, and a body the size of a bus. But this beast was built to kill. His jaws, larger than any land predator in Earth's history, over 5 feet long, filled with banana-sized teeth, some more than 30 centimeters in length, each one serrated like a steak knife. He didn't just bite prey, he crushed it. Scientists estimate he had a bite force of over 6 tons. That's more than a modern crocodile or even a car crusher. And his eyes facing forward, which means depth perception. He could judge distances perfectly and strike with deadly precision. Now, about those tiny arms. Yes, they look funny, but don't be fooled. Each one was muscular, with sharp claws, strong enough to tear flesh or hold on to a struggling victim. From skull to tail, every inch of T-Rex was designed for one purpose: to dominate, to destroy, to survive. Was the Tyrannosaurus rex a killer or just a scavenger? It's one of the most heated debates in paleontology, and for years, scientists were divided. After all, T-Rex had a massive nose, perfect for detecting rotting flesh. He could smell a carcass from miles away. And his legs, not built for blazing speed, which raised a question: could he even catch his prey? But then came the evidence. Bite marks on fossilized bones from prey that had survived the attack, teeth embedded in hadrosaur tails, signs of active hunting. In fact, the T-Rex may have used a crush and wait strategy, delivering one massive bite, then tracking his bleeding prey until it collapsed. Scavenger? Sure, if there was free meat, he'd take it. But make no mistake, Tyrannosaurus Rex was a predator, a lethal force in a dangerous world. Forget the image of a mindless beast. Tyrannosaurus Rex wasn't just strong, he was strategic. Despite his size, he wasn't fast like a cheetah, but he didn't need to be. He was a stalker, a trapper, a master of timing and terrain. T-Rex likely hunted with patience, moving slowly through the thick jungle, his massive feet muffled by soft earth and vegetation, eyes forward, locked on movement, nostrils flaring. Then, when the moment was right, he struck with explosive power. One bite was often all it took, crushing bones, snapping spines, puncturing vital organs. And then, he waited, tracking his victim, listening. And maybe he didn't hunt alone. Some scientists believe juvenile T-Rexes may have helped during the chase, driving prey into the jaws of the adult, a prehistoric version of teamwork. This was no dumb brute. This was a calculating killer, one that understood its world and used it. It's the ultimate prehistoric showdown. Predator versus powerhouse, speed versus armor, Tyrannosaurus Rex versus Triceratops. These two giants didn't just live in the same world. They shared the same battlegrounds, the same forests, the same food sources, and eventually, the same fate. Triceratops wasn't just prey, it was a walking tank. 3 sharp horns, a massive bony shield, and the will to fight. Imagine the moment, a dense jungle clearing, birds scattering into the air, as a 7-ton Tyrannosaur bursts through the trees, roaring, charging, deadly. Triceratops lowers its head, hooves grinding into the earth. No fear, just instinct. The two clash with earth-shaking force. In one corner, bone-crushing jaws. In the other, horns sharp enough to pierce an engine block. It wasn't always a one-sided fight. Fossils show signs of injury on both. Broken ribs, healed bite marks, skulls crushed by horn strikes. This wasn't a movie. It was real, and it was brutal. To understand the king, you have to understand his kingdom. Tyrannosaurus Rex lived in a world unlike anything we know today. It wasn't all desert and dust. It was lush, wet, wild. Picture this, a vast coastal floodplain stretching for hundreds of miles, thick jungles, winding rivers, steamy swamps teeming with life. The air, heavy, hot, filled with the buzzing of ancient insects and the distant cries of flying reptiles. Towering conifer trees reached to the sky, massive ferns covered the ground. Everywhere you looked, something moved, something breathed, something hunted. Volcanoes rumbled in the distance, shaping the land. Lightning storms rolled over the horizon. It was a living, breathing earth, raw and chaotic. And in the heart of this primal world stood the apex, the largest land predator of his time, a creature forged by this land, ruled by it, and destined to vanish with it. It began with a flash, a streak of fire across the sky. Then came the sound. The ground trembled, the wind howled, and the sky turned black. 66 million years ago, a mountain-sized asteroid slammed into Earth, near what is now Mexico. The explosion released more energy than 1 billion nuclear bombs. Tsunamis tore across oceans, wildfires erupted across continents, and the air filled with ash, soot, and death. The dinosaurs didn't die in a single moment, but the world they depended on collapsed around them. The plants died first, then the herbivores, then the predators, including Tyrannosaurus rex. The reign of the dinosaurs that had lasted over 150 million years was over in weeks, maybe days. T-Rex didn't just lose a fight, he lost the planet to a rock from space, and the silence that followed lasted an eternity. Dinosaurs, Triceratops, Velociraptor wiped out in one of Earth's greatest extinction events. Or are they? Look up, to the trees, to the skies, to the sparrow, the eagle, the hawk, because birds are dinosaurs, real, living dinosaurs. They didn't descend from them, they are them. And who was their closest ancient cousin? Not the long-necked sauropod, not the horned ceratopsian, but something far more terrifying. The fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex. Fossil evidence shows it all. Hollow bones, three-toed limbs, feathers. Yes, feathers. Even the mighty T-Rex may have been covered in them. So, the next time you see a bird take flight, remember, you're looking at the living legacy of Earth's most legendary predator. He lived and died over 66 million years ago. And yet, Tyrannosaurus rex is more alive in our minds than almost any creature on Earth. Why? Because he represents something deep inside us: power, fear, wonder, curiosity. He's been painted, sculpted, studied, worshipped, feared, remixed, reimagined, in books, in films, in classrooms, and in dreams. The T-Rex has become more than an animal. He is a symbol of raw nature, of extinction, of survival, of a world lost to time. And maybe that's why we keep coming back to him, because he's not just a fossil, he's a mirror to the past, to ourselves, and to what it truly means to rule and to fall.